Good afternoon. Like they previously mentioned, my name is Valentina Guerra, and today I would like to share with you a topic that is most of the time overlooked, which is procrastination. Have you ever thought procrastination might be a form of self-harm? Or maybe quite the opposite. Maybe you have thought procrastinators actually have abilities that most people don't. Well, what if I told you it's actually both? You see, procrastination actually gives you many abilities that most other people do not practice, which is finishing your work on limited time and acting upon pressure. However, it does at a very high cost, which is putting your brain through stress and anxiety. Sadly, procrastination is something 95% of us do. No, not even. Scratch that. It's 100% of us that have fallen into this cycle at least once in our lifetimes. And 50 to 75% of us do it daily, including myself. But what do I mean when I say procrastination? You see, normally considered a state of laziness, procrastination is actually a response to stress and anxiety. It is a process in which your brain, when it sees a certain thing, that it causes terror and anxiety and stress, tries to avoid it by rewarding itself with something that it finds sweet and rewarding. Which is, for example, when you see a big stack coming up, and your brain is scared of it, and you're scared of it because you know that you're most likely, if not definitely, will not be able to complete it to the best of your efforts, what is your brain gonna do? It will try to launch itself to something that you like scrolling through your phone, playing video games, going out, or talking to your friends. This is due to three main causes that put your brain through stress and anxiety, which are fear of both success and failure, extreme perfectionism views, and also thinking that your work is just not it, or extreme self-judgment. You see, it has been proven by many psychologists, including Dr. Sears, an American specialist in procrastination, that procrastination is linked to various forms of self-judgment. It is motivated by fear, and the only thing that procrastination is blocking us is from making our best efforts in things. It is as if our brain takes that anxiousness and that stress that a certain task is causing you and reads it as harm. And as we all know, due to basic biology, our brains are wired to avoid harm. When we see, for example, in the Stone Ages, if you see a big predator coming your way, what is your brain going to tell you to do? Fight it or flight? Go away from it. What do procrastinators choose? They go away from the task. Why? Because they're scared of it. That's exactly what your brain does. It is like it's kind of sabotaging you, not on purpose, but it does. And this is something called exponential or temporal discounting, which just means the action in both mind and body of continuously delaying a task. There are people that fall into this continuous loop various times, continuously, or various times, or almost daily, as myself. This causes them to procrastinate everywhere, every time they can. Like, for example, procrastinating a project, a school essay, or even worse, a TEDx speech, like me. But you see, I like to call these procrastinators experts in the waiting game, to put them a little more fun name. You see, it is as if you gave a little kid a marshmallow and a broccoli. What do you think the kid's gonna choose first? The marshmallow, of course. Why? Because he's gonna want to try to avoid eating these disgusting greens, because he doesn't want them. Even if their mother and father told them to eat them, they will not want to eat those. They're going to want the marshmallow. Your brain does the exact same thing. They're going to want to jump right into the reward when they see something that they're pushed to eat or do, like a task. Chronic procrastinators are people, like I said, that fall into this continuous loop various times a day, like myself. And I would like to present to you how my expertise in the waiting game started. It all started back in 2019 to around 2021 to 2022. You guessed it, quarantine. During quarantine, as most of you remember, it was not possible to see your friends, even your family members. You were completely alone. And in a moment where, as a teenager, you wondered how to walk, how to speak, and even how to pose for a picture, not having your friends, your family, and others around you felt extremely depressing. So what did I do? Exactly that. I became depressed. And what did I do? Did I seek for help? Of course not. I embraced my true calling, which was procrastinate. I started scrolling to my phone daily. I started doodling. I started drawing, which I'm not very good at, but anything but doing schoolwork, of course. And I lost my time, various times a day, every day a week. I started pushing schoolwork behind, I started talking to my friends later, and even family started feeling like too much. But even after quarantine, I still had some of this expertise inside of me. You can even ask my friends. I am one of the biggest procrastinators they know nowadays. Why? Because I still have those expertise from behind. But once I decided I didn't want them anymore, I asked for help. I did. And many of my peers gave me advice. Some of my older peers gave me a little rough advice, who just told me to suck it up and that anxiety is just me being weak. You know how the old guys are. But other people actually gave me great advice that I would like to share with you today. I would like to share with you 5 different tips that helped me the most. Number 1, I would like to start with one of the most difficult ones for myself and for everyone else, which is rewarding yourself. This is something not all of us do most of the time, because as we know, procrastination is powered by self-judgment. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna try to erase that. How? As your brain sees a task coming your way, what is it gonna try to do? Like I said, avoid it. So instead of jumping right into the reward before doing the task, it's like you grab your marshmallow and throw it right in front of you. So you see it and it motivates you, but you're not eating it yet. You're gonna have to eat your broccoli. And even if you eat half of it, give a pat yourself in the back, because that is great. A step at a time is the best thing you can do, because you're not gonna change yourself nor the world from one day to another. Now, I would like to present to you something called the interval rule, which is literally just that, working in intervals. When you see a big task coming your way and you know that you're not gonna be able to eat your broccoli by yourself, then say, fine, I'll eat 1 bite and then a bite of the marshmallow. That's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna work on this task, project, whatever it is, for around, let's say 30 minutes. And then you're gonna promise yourself, okay, after that, I'll give myself 10 minutes of break. Of course, not overstimulating your body with anything that gets you away from the idea of the task. And then the next time, 45 minutes you're gonna work on it, and then you'll rest for 10 minutes. And you do that exponentially, growing the time in which you work on a task and minimizing the time of your breaks. And before you know it, you end up finishing the task before you even notice it. This also gets me to my next point, which is a 2-minute rule. You probably heard this all the time. My mother and father love to remind me of this, which is if a task lasts you to finish it less than 2 minutes or around 2 minutes, do it right that second. Why? Because in a list where you have 30 things to do, if you do the things that take you little time to no time, you will see that those 30 things reduce to 10 things, and then 5, and then less, maybe. We don't know. But you not know it before you do it. So just take a step up. Now, I would like to change a bit the topic from rules on how to plan your work to a bit of a deeper meaning, which is mindset. Changing your mindset and preparing for failure. You see, when I say procrastination is powered by self-judgment, what I mean is that your brain is scared of taking a step in front of you because it knows that seeing that task, it is possible that it's gonna fail or that it's probably gonna fail doing the task. So what are we gonna do? Instead of giving ourselves a negative statement like, oh, I have a work due 15 minutes forward and I don't have time to finish it, we're gonna change it to a more positive, instead of a statement, a question now. You're gonna say to yourself, I know I can do this, but how can I finish this to the best of my abilities in this time? See how I turn it from a negative question, from a negative statement to a positive question? That's exactly what you're gonna do. And to the second point, preparing for failure, that's one of the most important ones you're gonna see today. Because we have to learn through the process of our lives that we are all human. We ain't perfect, no matter how we try. And this is something we have to learn. So let yourself fail, because it's a cliche, a little cliche phrase, but I'm gonna say it to you once again. Doesn't matter how much times you fall. It is more about how you stand up after the hurtful fall than about how many times you miss. Doesn't matter how many times you try. If you achieve your work, that's the only thing that matters. So if you fall, tell yourself, what did I do wrong here? What can I upgrade from this intent that I did? Okay? That was all right. I did a good work. Let's go on. It is all about celebrating progress, not perfection. Nobody's perfect. And the last one I would like to share with you is planning before acting. Has anyone ever told you that if you write down your dreams, they will come true? That's exactly it. It is actually proven that once you write down things, your brain actually creates new connections and analyzes things from various different points. So when somebody gives you a task, an assignment, whatever it is, even a business idea, write it down on a list. Where there is on a list, a number list, a bullet points, post-its, or what I like to personally do, which is called a priority board. It is, as you can see, just organizing your task in 4 quadrants, what is urgent, non-urgent, important, and non-important, and just going in order of a snake or a little worm. If something is urgent and important, you're gonna write that second. The first second that you can. That's gonna go number 1. Then after that, it's gonna go the lowest point, which is urgent but not important. Since you have to do it right that second, that's gonna go on number 2. And the third spot on the top, which is non-urgent but important, that's gonna go 3rd. And then the last spot, which is non-urgent and non-important. These are various ways in which you can erase your procrastinate views and your procrastinate habits. Some of these are the ones that helped me and that I would like to share with you. Sorry. There are many other ways that you can erase your procrastinate views. I, for example, have still been using other advices from other peers, and that's fine. It is all about failure, test, and repeat, all about learning. What I would like to share with you, the message that I would like you to take to home, is that it is okay to not be perfect. It is okay to not be human, but it's not okay to let yourself fall into these kind of loops, because procrastination is an addiction, like any other thing. Too much of it, and you're gonna get addicted to it. So now let's cut it out, step by step. It is gonna be hard, of course, but with these 4 tips and more tips that you can get from other people or from yourself, just thinking about it, you can erase those habits. So before I leave, I would like to leave a quote lingering in your minds by Sarah Vowell, not a very well-known American poet, but a very good one. In one of her verses, she said, "We are all flawed creatures, all of us. Some think that means we should erase our flaws, but erase my flaws and there will be no one left." That is exactly it. We are not perfect, we are human, but we still have to try to it. Thank you very much.